Second down and 6. The give to Timothy Jackson, makes a man miss, gets to the end zone, touchdown, Air Force!
High-flying Air Force started its season with a dominant ground attack to trounce rival Navy.
Sneaks it left side, they push the pile, touchdown, Air Force!
The Falcons sport the longest winning streak in major college football, but will have to cool their jets before hitting the gridiron again.
And we're just grateful the rest of the games that we're going to have.
Meanwhile, a myriad of questions at quarterback for the Navy Midshipmen as they drop a crucial Service Academy matchup in their quest for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
It's not what you want. You know, we've had 3 games and 3 new starting quarterbacks.
And the Black Knights of Army regroup with nearly 500 yards of offense for a backup quarterback who answered the call. A weekend of highs and lows for Service Academy football. This is Behind the Lines, the Academy Football Report. Here's your host, Graham Knight.
For the first time all season, Army, Navy, and Air Force all took to the gridiron last week. This coming week will feature a truncated schedule with just 2 Academy football games. But that's all going to change come October 24th. And we're just 1 month away from the second leg of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy when Army hosts Air Force at West Point. That should be an exciting game. But last week was a rough week, and it left a lot of questions. In a little bit, Erin Summers will be by to recap Army's commanding victory over Abilene Christian and preview their upcoming contest against the Citadel Bulldogs. Meanwhile, Navy hopes to regroup with a home game against Temple. Jon Meterparel will be by with a deep dive into the Midshipmen. That's a team who started 3 different quarterbacks in 3 different games. That's something that hasn't happened for almost 3 decades. But let's start with Diane Roberts in Air Force. Diane, what a huge way to start the season with a commanding 40-7 win over Navy.
Graham, while some people were concerned about potential rust, the Falcons didn't show any at all. Remember, they weren't even supposed to play this year, and then they got the good news that, of course, they'd get to play other service academies, and that meant the chance to go for the Commanders-in-Chief trophy. But Air Force's domination of Navy put everyone on notice. They're in it to win it.
First and goal for Warren Bryant, keeps himself, goes over the right side. He's in for an Air Force touchdown. Warren Bryant, a 1-yard run.
And the route is on here at Falcon Stadium. I don't know that there's many people that would have predicted this sort of an outcome.
In this, their first game of the season, the Falcons, they were aggressive all game long. The win was especially sweet because the team lost about 30 players to turnbacks. That's the situation where players have the chance to skip the fall semester or a whole year because of personal issues or hardship, and it hit the defense the hardest. The young guns who did play, they didn't care at all about the circumstances, and they held Navy to just 90 yards of rushing and a total of 241 offensively.
I would say it just speaks to the preparation that we made of all 11 guys, 15 guys that got in the rotation and helped us. And there's a lot more preparation to be done for the rest of the season.
You couldn't ask for a better start to take off Navy. That really steamroll them 40-7, and I thought we did an amazing job. And with the 2 games, I mean, we practiced like we were having a full season. We were prepared, we were ready, and I think we ultimately executed it.
In your wildest dreams, could you even have imagined racking up that many points in the first game of the season?
Well, Diane, I think what we have to do, we got to go forward, and not that we aren't, not that we didn't do some good things today, because we did. Again, I mean, it goes back just the effort, the focus, and just the competitiveness. Yet we're gonna go through some growing pains. We certainly have gone through some here over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and we will as we move forward too. So we got to get better. We got to get better as coaches. And I think each one of our guys and collectively as a team, we have to recognize that we have to make improvement as we head down the road. But certainly we'll take what happened today.
The win against Navy also featured the debut of sophomore Hazek Daniels, who started his first game under center. Daniels ran for 96 yards and a touchdown and leading Air Force on 8 scoring drives.
First off, Zeke is a sophomore just like me, and he completely stepped up to the role. I thought he did an amazing job. We had faith in him, and just as they had faith in me at the end.
He does have, I mean, just the intangibles and the leadership qualities that you want in a guy that's a quarterback. And like I said, he's going to play better as we head forward. But I mean, just the heart and the makeup of the young man is what you want at that position.
After that all-around impressive performance, the Falcons have to hurry up and wait. They just have to sit and wait to play again because the Mountain West Conference is just resuming action. So they have to wait 2 weeks before they play again. They'll head to California to play San Jose State. Their next game, that's October 24th. Of course, the big one on the schedule, 2 freight trains going right at it. Boom. It'll be Air Force on this side, and then they'll be at Army November 7th, plus a full conference schedule, and they're going to end the regular season December 5th at Utah State. So after a reversal of fortune, everybody's geared up for a full season of action.
Going in with two games, you're easy to focus on those, and we're just grateful the rest of the games that we're going to have. Job's not finished for the CIC. Job's not finished for the whole season, so we're going to take every day at a time, every practice at a time, and just get better. But we are definitely thankful for the 6 added games that we got. Hopefully we'll get a bowl game in there too.
If our soul and our hearts are with our guys, then we have to be consumed as coaches in terms of helping them where they can grow as men, grow as potential leaders, and then develop and improve as football players too.
Next week, we'll take a closer look at head coach Troy Calhoun. He is just 1 away from 100 career wins. We'll hear from him and his players about the honor and about what makes him tick. But right now, I'm going to give it to my colleague, Jon Meterparel, who has the midshipmen side of this game.
Navy was hoping to give Coach Ken Niumatalolo his 100th career victory, but as Diane just mentioned, the Falcons had other plans.
2nd down and 6. The give to Timothy Jackson, makes a man miss, gets to the end zone, touchdown, Air Force!
Navy started its 3rd QB of the season after Dalen Morris was declared out for health reasons unrelated to COVID-19.
It's not what you want. You know, we've had 3 games and 3 new starting quarterbacks. But, you know, we're going to protect our people first and foremost. And so that's number one. Obviously, it hurts to lose to Air Force and to lose this way in a convincing manner. You know, it's very disheartening. You know, that's Tiger's first start. Hasn't played a ton of football. So I thought the kid came in and battled. But, you know, obviously we didn't play well enough on offense.
Williams moves to the left side, Goslin to throw. Over the middle, lofts it, and it's picked up. Wide open, a great catch over there by number 23, down the left sideline, and going in for the touchdown is Miles Fells.
Tyler Goslin stepped in and tossed a 73-yard touchdown to Miles Fells in the 2nd quarter. It was the longest pass play by a midshipman quarterback since last year's ECU game. It was one of 6 completions on the day for Goslin, who knows he has things to improve on for his next start.
To the right, fumbles the football. Warren tries to pick it up and can't. Air Force has the football.
We came in with a good game plan that we felt. You know, little things here and there. That's what it was. I mean, we had a couple penalties, a couple misreads by myself, and you know, I take full responsibility for the offense not producing like we should have. Got to be a better leader. That's kind of what it comes down to. Got to stay more positive. We got to keep our heads in the game.
Goslin won't soon forget what it felt like to make his first career start.
It's every kid's dream, you know, to start in a game that means as much as this trophy series does to everybody at the service academies and to the country as a whole. You know, it's an absolute honor to be able to put my jersey on every day and go out there. Yeah. Absolute dream come true. I wish it could have ended a little bit differently, obviously, but like I said, it's an honor.
The Navy rushing attack was held to less than 100 yards against the stingy Air Force defense. The first time in 4 years they didn't eclipse the century mark.
Got our butts whipped, you know, starting, you know, all the way around. I mean, they whipped us coaching, playing. I mean, it's not much more to say. I mean, it's got our butts whipped, you know.
Defensive back Cam Kinley, a William Campbell Award semifinalist, the college football equivalent of the academic Heisman, is upset that Navy can't win the Commanders-in-Chief trophy now.
It was one of the best feelings of my life winning that game last year. But, I mean, we still get a chance to play Army. Beating those guys, going out on a high note, I mean, it still is what it is. You know, we got a lot to play for. We still got a conference championship to play for. We still got bowl games to play for.
Navy will have to regroup this week following the 40-7 defeat as they return home to take on Temple Saturday night. It will be the Owls' first game of the season. Now let's check in on Army's showdown with Abilene Christian. Here's Erin Summers with more. Erin?
Thanks, John. Quarterbacks seem to be the hot topic in all of the academies right now, and it's the same for Army. After a loss to Cincinnati, the Black Knights bounced back with a 55-23 win over Abilene Christian. However, an injury to starting quarterback Christian Anderson put Jamel Jones at the helm. And Jones, he didn't disappoint. Quarterback Christian Anderson's injury came near the end of the first quarter, giving sophomore Jamel Jones an opportunity to step up early.
What was so impressive is he stepped in and he didn't flinch. He just took the bull by the horns, as they say, and led our team. And I thought he really did a good job.
With a 23-3 lead at the half, the coaching staff kept Anderson out as a precaution, giving Jones the reins for the rest of the game. On the opening drive of the second half, the Black Knights took to the air for their first passing touchdown of the season, a Jones 33-yard pass to Michael Roberts.
It's something that we've been going over in the plays week by week, and honestly, it's just humbling and very honored to be able to execute on those plays.
Jones passed the 100-yard rushing mark on a 49-yard touchdown. The QB finished the day with 138 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, passing for 52 yards and 1 TD.
Coach always just talks about stay ready so you don't have to get ready every day in the quarterback room. So that was really a huge emphasis today when my number was called, just keeping the offense going.
Running back Tyrell Robinson joined Jones in rushing for over 100 yards. He had 126 on just 10 carries. It's the first time Army has had multiple 100-yard rushers in the same game in 3 years.
It was just another day doing what we practice every week, every day, in and out. I had a great deal of blocks on the perimeter.
For Coach Monken, a 32-point win is nice, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement.
There's a standard that I expect from our team with the way we play, not just wins and losses. That has far less to do with it. It's the way we play, the execution of the fundamentals, the effort, the mental and physical toughness. So I'm glad we won. And we get to correct the things that were wrong without having to pay the ultimate price.
Army gets its chance to fine-tune the fundamentals Saturday as the Citadel comes to Michie Stadium, where the Black Knights are 5-0 since November 9th, 2019. The Bulldogs, playing a limited schedule, are 0-3, including a loss against the #1 team in the country, Clemson, and have scored just 20 points this season. This will be the Citadel's final game as the Southern Conference postponed the season, but still allowed teams to play non-conference games this fall. As for the situation at quarterback for Army, Coach Monken says Anderson will be back as a starter if he's available.
Christian certainly being the starter, we got a lot of faith in him, and he's a good quarterback. And I'm just really pleased by the way he's kind of accepted that role and has become a leader, and how he's competing. He can do all the things that we need a quarterback in our offense to do.
This will be the 10th matchup between Army and the Citadel overall, and first since 1994. The Black Knights hold a 7-2 advantage in the series. However, the Bulldogs have won 2 of the last 3. The Army offense overcoming adversity to keep their 5-game win streak at Michie Stadium alive. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we'll take a deep dive into the Army defense as I'm joined by new defensive coordinator Nate Woody.
The time that I had here was spent mostly recruiting, and I got to spend a little bit of time with kids before the COVID hit. Not a ton of time. So once they had to go back home, we had to start doing meetings, Zoom meetings, and try to teach the defense, and not being able to get out there and sort of teach them hands-on out on the football field, and not have spring practice and all that was that took a little bit of getting used to. But I thought our kids really dug in and studied hard and really they wanted to learn this, and they did a great job of picking it up.
The Army defense is holding teams to just over 13 points per game, and that includes a matchup against the number 14 team in the country, Cincinnati. It's been an impressive start for first-year defensive coordinator Nate Woody, who joins me now. What drew you to this position at Army?
I'd known Coach Monken for a while. We'd coached in the same conference, when he was at Georgia Southern and I was at Wofford College, and then after I left Wofford and went to Appalachian State, we played against one another. So West Point's always been a place that I've been interested in, because you just get guys that are so disciplined here and work really hard. They're guys that step in and they're going to be guys that you can do a lot of things with.
Your hiring was announced on January 2nd of this year. With COVID-19 limiting practice time, how did you work to prepare the Black Knights defense over the past few months?
It was a bit difficult because the time that I had here was spent mostly recruiting, and I got to spend a little bit of time with kids before the COVID hit. Not a ton of time. So once they had to go back home, we had to start doing meetings, Zoom meetings, and try to teach the defense, and not being able to get out there and sort of teach them hands-on out on the football field, and not have spring practice and all. That took a little bit of getting used to, but I thought our kids really dug in and studied hard and really they wanted to learn this, and they did a great job of picking it up.
The Black Knights are top 5 in the country in several defensive categories: turnovers gained, rushing defense, defensive touchdowns, and fumble recoveries. What has led to the Black Knights' success?
Number one, I don't think they had to. They didn't have to search for the answers as far as their responsibilities. I think they learned their responsibilities very well, and then they just sort of got that attack mode in them. They're guys that really get after it hard. They're not the kind that like to sit back and read stuff. They've got a responsibility, and they're attacking that responsibility, and then you never really have to get on to them very hard about pursuing the football, chasing the football. They just naturally pursue the football as good as any team that I've coached. So there's some things that we certainly have to get better at, but so far they've really done a great job of picking up the initial installments of the defense.
Coach Woody, thank you so much for the time. Coming up next, right here on the Academy Football Report, we'll take a look at a historic moment in Academy football history.
This week in Academy football history takes us to a highly anticipated matchup when the Houston Cougars went into a rainy Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium on October 8, 2016. Undefeated Houston was ranked number 6 in the nation and led by quarterback Greg Ward Jr., who opened the scoring by hitting Stephen Dunbar for a touchdown less than 4 minutes into the game. Navy's Daishan Romaine took the ensuing kickoff down to the 12-yard line, and on the next play, Chris High ran in for a score to tie the game at 7.
Brought down at the 13-yard line. Option right, Chris High, 10, 5, touchdown! Navy Midshipmen! Chris High!
After a field goal by both sides, the score was tied at 10 apiece at the end of the first quarter. It was a seesaw affair, and at halftime, the score was 20-20. Midshipman quarterback Will Worth completed just 3 passes all game long, but 2 went for touchdowns in the third quarter, and the Middies led by 14 at the end of the third, 41-27.
He's at the 10! 5! Touchdown! He's got him! Going low, Cologne! Got it! Touchdown! Navy Midshipmen! Brandon Cologne!
Houston mounted a furious comeback, but a safety on a muffed punt.
He got it over his head! Out of bounds for a safety! Wow!
Followed by a Navy field goal, allowed the Middies to hold off the Cougars and win 46-40. Led by 306 yards rushing and 17 points off Houston turnovers, Navy beat a top 10 opponent for the first time in 32 years. An historic Navy victory.
Welcome back to Behind the Lines. Before we close out our second show for this season, I want to close with this question. COVID-19 has invaded every aspect of American life, including college football, NFL, and even the White House. It has a 14-day incubation period, yet our football players play every week. So think about this. Wouldn't football be better off playing every other week? That would give all the players involved 14 days in between games. It would make contact tracing that much easier. And, I'm not suggesting we give up any of the mask, any of the social distancing, any of the other precautions, but I think it might add just another layer of safety given the risk COVID-19 presents. We've all seen there's no magic with our sports being in their non-traditional seasons, hockey and basketball in August, for example. But do we really need to risk these players' welfare and their future playing every week when they might just be safer playing every other week? It's not a criticism, just a question. Just a reminder, Behind the Lines gives 20% of its net profits to helping our homeless veterans. And next week, Erin Summers will be here to recap Army's game against the Citadel Bulldogs. Jon will be here to recap Navy's game against Temple, and we'll be previewing the upcoming Mountain West schedule with Diane Roberts as Air Force looks to get back in action. Join us for all the Academy football highlights next week.
Over the middle, lofts it, and is picked up. Wide open, a great catch over there by number 23, down the left sideline and going in with a touchdown is Miles Fells.